I think you're all smart enough to know this is bull. So I don't understand why you guys lie like this. Why you die on these hills that are a joke. Let me ask you guys this, as some of you are lefties. So I'm not trying to trick you or anything. I'm just going to ask a basic question. If Joe Biden was able to snap his fingers and the Supreme Court allowed this and every single illegal in this country was allowed to vote in the 2024 election, what percentage of them roughly do you think would have voted for Donald Trump?
Probably like half.
I think a decent
little
amount.
under half.
I mean, like, so I think doesn't
I would
Trump poll
say
well with
a little more than
Hispanics
half.
and
Wait, Elder Drazi, what'd you say?
Probably a little more than half. I don't know how many of
More
them
than half?
would have actually believed the mass deportation thing, but I know
come on.
that no, Hispanic people are
No,
traditionally
look at no, he
exceptionally
doesn't believe
conservative.
us. All right, come on, Rob. Like, so do you not think? So does you don't think that like Hispanics like poll generally well with Trump?
It has nothing to do with Hispanics. Like it's a mistake and borderline racist to assume that people are monolithic because they come from the same country of origin or speak the same language. Legal Hispanics are some of the ones that are the most angry about illegal immigration. That's why the message that was patronized to them, where many of them do have conservative values as well, but the patronization of them of trust us, Republicans are just racist, Trump is just racist, he wants to deport you. They were like, fuck all that. No, he's talking about illegals. The idea that just because illegals happen to be Hispanic as well, majoritarily, that they would have somehow been like, we're going to vote for the guy who's promising to kick us out of the country as opposed to the guy that's literally giving us the right to vote right now is absurd. Elder Drazi said more than 50% of illegals.
Well,
What about it?
Hold on. Hold on. Wait. So you think that? So what you're saying to me is that like Hispanics, they come in as like Biden voters, and then they flip as soon as they're like they get legal status, and then they're conservative.
They are more. They have more like conservative social values for sure. So it's not all that crazy to believe that they would likely vote for a conservative if it wasn't for the fact that like it is true that most Hispanics who even come in legally still likely have family members who come over who are here illegally, or they live in communities that are mostly Latino that'll have some illegal immigrants there as well, that they know people that they're attached to. And so the Democrats definitely try to like play off that like emotional appeal to them sometimes.
I do have to say that like one thing that people always underestimate in the Democratic Party is they think that like the minority groups are going to be as socially progressive and economically left wing as them, when really it's the opposite in most cases. Usually, in comparison to the average white Democrat or the average white progressive, the average like person of color who's a Democrat, it generally is more moderate, significantly more moderate. So I think people really, really underestimate that. And I hate having conversations with like leftists online because like it's just like it's agonizing.
Leader, the whole premise of your point there is it makes no sense. For example, let's say that I say this: the majority of college-educated women vote Democrat. And we could all say, yeah, the data seems to bear that out. And so I'm a woman whose entire livelihood, I'm college educated, and my entire livelihood rests on the fact that I work as an executive at an oil company. And and Biden says, we're going to shut down the following oil companies, and one of them's that woman. So you say, well, of course she's more likely to vote Democrat because college-educated women vote Democrat. No, people tend to prioritize the specific issues that affect them, particularly if they're big issues that would affect them, like we're going to kick you out of the country or shut down your business, as opposed to what, on average, a collective group that they belong to believes. So I refuse to believe that anywhere near half, and certainly in the words of Elder Drazi, more than half of illegals would have voted for the guy saying, I promise to kick you out, as opposed to the guy that said, hey, I just gave you the right to vote. It is an asinine position. I brought it up because I thought all of you would go, I don't know, 20% would vote for Trump, maybe 30%. And I'm shocked to hear that
I didn't used to think that way.
If you were to ask me whether people would vote against their own self-interest because they have a team...
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just about to say. Like, we all think that people, like, one side's going to be more beneficial to them the entire time, yet still 45% of Hispanics voted for Trump anyways. And so I would think it would still be consistent with the population already already that it would still sit around 40 to 45% anyways.
It's absurd because there's
I
a
wouldn't have
threshold
thought
portion that you're
that there
not.
would have
So
been a
then
big-
let's go even further than that. So then if Republicans next time say we will execute all black people, you're still like, yeah, I think 30% of black men still vote for that because that's
That's what
traditionally
they do with
black.
Trump.
No,
That's exactly what they do with Trump. You think people are electing Trump on the basis that they're going to destroy the economy?
Show me that. Show me the black. No,
Wait a
real
minute.
quick.
Tariffs.
So
Wait
what
a
you
minute.
just
Wait a minute.
what you
Wait a
just
minute.
said. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Sorry.
You just said that's exactly what happened with Trump. So one, can you show me Trump running on the promise of executing black men? And second, can you show me one black man who voted for Trump and said Trump has promised to execute me? Go ahead.
This is
So listen, what I said was a little bit hyperbolic. I admit that, but the point is that Trump running on 80% tariffs. That he's going to put 80% tariffs up on every single country that America trades with. That would kill the U.S. economy. There is no doubt. You wouldn't bring back local manufacturing. Prices would spike. Inflation would go through the roof. Your economy would just die. Now, do I think that the average person would vote against their interests because they don't entirely believe what Trump's saying in the first place? Yes. Yeah, they probably he's not going to do it. He's not going to put on 80% tariffs on
Leader, it's your turn.
The problem
That's
is
the
what
thing
you're
about
doing
Trump.
is
It doesn't matter what he says. His supporters always go, well, what actually he means is this. And
It's,
then they
it's
buy
so
it.
funny.
They eat it wholesale.
It's no wonder it's easy me to fucking debate like 20 of you at a time and just fucking destroy you. You literally have you're so ideological you have no common sense. So let's take what you just said.
Democrats do that too. Democrats do that as well, Rob.
Let's just take what leadership just said there. Okay. Leadership is comparing a president saying, excuse me, population of you. One president just unprecedentedly gave you the right to vote right now. And what I'm telling you is, I promise when I get it there, I'm kicking you all out of this country. And you're like, oh, that's the same as Trump saying, we're going to try to get rid of the income tax, and instead we're going to try to replace that with tariffs. And you saying, well, everyone knows that if we did tariffs like that, it would be a disaster for the economy. That's not true. Many people don't know that. There are people that suggest
he just said that's what would happen.
No, that might be what he thinks happens, but the difference that I'm trying to tell you is there is a series of events that needs to occur from, tariffs means economy gets destroyed, and yet people still voted for Trump because of the economy, versus Trump says, I'm kicking you out of the country, and I'm still going to vote for you. Everyone can see that difference. It's obvious.
Wait, hold on. There's the difference here for me is that from over history, all presidents have pretty much been in favor of deporting illegal immigrants. Whether or not they're okay or whether or not they're capable of doing it is another thing. And so I think that literally, I think that we all come with the assumption that literally all people in government want to deport illegal immigrants, and that they're just
that's not true at all.
That Trump is just saying
Kamala
it a lot
running
more.
on that. Show me Kamala running on that. Show me Biden running on it.
Kamala didn't run on it, but Biden has said it a ton of times. Biden said that a bunch that he wanted to deport illegal immigrants.
He said that running for 2020?
Yeah, he said it in 2020, yes, and then he also it was a huge part of his being a senator, huge part of him with Obama, huge part of his entire career.
I think you're full of shit, particularly when it comes to 2020. I think, in fact, what you saw that the Democratic narrative, which he was also pushing, was that we need to solve things for the dreamers, and we need to offer pathways to citizenships for the great illegals that are here that aren't doing anything criminal. And he may have said, sure, the ones that are criminal, the ones that are given deportation orders, maybe. Trump goes further than that. He says, we're going to deport all illegals, right? Millions upon millions. The Democrats take him at face value. They're like, yeah, he's going to do it.
I'm not saying he doesn't go farther. I'm not saying he's not going farther. I am just saying that, yes, I think that everybody comes with the assumption that people in government want to deport illegals.
This is a further question that I have for you. It's not even worth having this debate. If you can't see on face value the fucking absurdity that you think that one president doing something unprecedented, giving illegals the right to vote, which they would have been so fucking happy with, they'd have said, we don't care, Biden, fuck you. And the other guy's saying, and by the way, I'm going to kick you out. You're like, yeah, they would have respected that. That's what they'd want. Just like with tariffs. And the greater point that this brings up is, I don't understand. I think you're all smart enough to know this is bullshit. So I don't understand why you guys lie like this. Why you die on these hills that are a fucking joke. This is why you're so bad at debates. You can't just speak extemporaneously off the fucking cuff with
it's not beneficial
answers.
to us whatsoever. It's not beneficial to us whatsoever to say, oh, immigrants want to vote for Trump. Like normally for us, we would all say, no, immigrants fucking hate Trump. No, they all want to vote Biden because they're Kamala because they're smart enough to know how bad Trump is, and they all know. Like this is not beneficial to us in any way. This is not some sort of bias where we like want them to vote for Trump or something.
So you're just that stupid. That's your argument. You're so stupid that you think roughly half or more than half of illegals would have voted for Donald Trump if Joe Biden gave them
both retarded.
Yeah, if that's your argument, I'll accept that, which may also be excuse why you're so bad at debates. I mean, it's...
No, I think that like different demographics do tend to vote in trends, and that they do tend to have like communities and cultures that seem to lean in directions. And then when you see things that you think, wow, that makes absolutely no sense why you would vote for that person, it still tends to happen on a trend based on the communities that they're a part of. So
that's not true in many ways, right? It's true that threshold-wise, you could have a subjective opinion that says, for example, well, I think that the more pro-union policies of Democrats, it wouldn't make sense why people that are in unions, a large portion of them would vote for Trump. Okay, there's an argument to be had there. Now, there's an answer for that. Most people are voting for a reason. You might disagree with the reason. So maybe they think that social issues outweighed what they saw as small benefits that they were getting from the Democratic Party. But what you don't see is when people basically give you a theoretic death sentence. I will kick you out of the country. I will imprison you for life. I will take away your home. I will take away your business. Those sort of things that people say, shit, yeah, I'll vote for that guy. Yeah, sounds good.
They don't believe it, though. They don't believe it, or the message doesn't get
make you miss doing politics,
Of course, there is so much... Listen, I'm not even saying that Democrats only do this, right? But there is definitely a degree of, like...
I've stopped listening as well.
All right, let me put this out. I think there's a degree of I think a lot of Americans like play this as team sports. Well, there is a degree of like the actual fact of the matter doesn't matter because they will justify and cope their way into liking the candidate. That's how I would frame that.
So you think that the team sports aspect of shit is 50% of illegals would say, fuck it, the one guy just gave us the right to vote the first time that it's ever happened in the history of this country. The other guy's promising to take us out. But fuck it, team sports, we're 50% going to vote for Trump.
No, it wouldn't be. It would never be framed like that. They would go into the thing and they would start to hear all the Trump talking points about how he's going to make the economy better. He's going to bring back manufacturing to it, and because they're conservative, they'd be listening to these things. And maybe a Democrat or like they'll watch NBC and some newscast will say this, and they'll look down. They'll be like, "Huh, that's fake stream media. I don't believe that shit anyway."
That's what I mean. It's a joke. It's a joke. You people are non-serious people, or you're incredibly dumb. It is an absolute joke. It's not even close. It is. It's not even close. I would bet that if I sat here and talked to like 15 serious Democratic strategists, they would laugh their fucking ass off at you. They'd say, so you mean to tell me that Joe Biden gives illegal immigrants a gift that they never in a million years expected? You all have the right to vote right now. And they're going to be so unthankful for that. And then they're going to hear, and the same guy that gave him the right to vote is going to say, this guy Trump's going to kick you all out. And Trump's like, yeah, I am. I'm going to kick you all out. And they would say, but you know what? I'm persuaded by his claims on tariffs. And I just don't believe that he'll kick me out. And I don't believe the guy who just unprecedentedly gave me the right to vote. I don't think their party would look out for me. So we're going to go ahead and vote for the guy that was going to kick me out. I think you're full of shit. I think it's self-evidentiary full of shit. I think it is.
So I think he put a lot of faith in how many people.
Talk to him.
Leader, we're waiting on you, leader.
I know. I'm sorry.
Leader, I just gotta tell you, buddy. You're talking to Rob like you're talking to me. You're going, come on. He's not gonna come meet you. You gotta go. If you wanna argue with Rob, you gotta go hard, buddy. You can't be gentle like you.
That's fine. I'm happy. We're all listen. Rob's tenacious. I don't want to go out
like 80
he's
words
already
per minute, and you're like, come on. It's not gonna. You can't do that, buddy.
Listen, he's got like 3 people shouting down at him. I don't need to make that.
Well, I'm saying you're trying to make a point, which is, Rob, what you're saying is a bit extreme here. Can you dial it back so we can have a real conversation about this point? But it's coming out as, come on. He's just going to run right over that, buddy.
But it's not extreme. The example I gave, the example is purposely hyperbolic to try to get a sort of level of understanding people, because there's this general question of all of these immigrants come in, and if we give them a pathway to vote, which way would they ultimately vote? And so you start at some sort of level, right? The most likely that they would vote for Democrat is if the Democrats basically gave them the right to vote right now, and Trump was running on the promise of kicking them out. And if I can't get an admission from Democrats there, yeah, it is most likely that the overwhelming majority of those people would end up voting Democrat in that circumstance. Then there's no good faith discussion possible to go further down the line of what a path to amnesty would actually look like. I don't know how good faith you're
looking for when you're not asking any of us why we actually think that. Instead, you're telling us the reason why we're saying
I could tell you exactly why you think. I could do it more succinctly.
You haven't said my reasoning once.
Okay, you want me to steel man your position?
You haven't heard my position. You only heard my answer.
Okay, that's fine. So I've heard the other two people's position. I could steel man it. If you want to tell me your justification why more than 50% of illegals would vote for Trump as opposed to Biden, who just gave them the right to vote, I'm open to hearing it.
Hold on. Let me ask you some very simple questions. Very simple, easy. This is easy, okay? Do you think that that illegal immigrants have perfect information on both candidates?
No.
Or do you think that... Okay, all right. Do you think that perhaps that they're going to carry forward their bias from, say they were from a conservative family or a Democratic family, and that this bias would lead them to a media platform that supports that bias, right? Would you agree with that?
No, I do not. I agree that could happen. So let's say that there's a certain percentage of things that influence someone's vote. Would you agree with that? A percentage of that might be... Okay, so even you and anyone around the world, like a certain reason leadership why you would vote, part of it's going to be because culturally where you've came from, right? That's going to be part of it, right? Part of it might be what you think is the most important issue, and you'll, instead of looking into every issue, maybe you're just concerned about taxes. So you might do a little more research on taxes than you will immigration policy or some shit like that. You're just hearing surface level shit, right? In other words, what I'm saying is there's a bunch of reasons that go into why you're voting. The same is true of pretty much everyone. Part of that reason is going to be, well, culturally, what sort of community do you come from? That's absolutely true. But that's not going to be the bulk of the reason. They are going to be aware of probably, would you agree with this? Most people are aware of at least like one issue. They at least know talking points on one issue. Would you agree with that? Most voters do.
I'd say that of imperfect information on most issues.
Well, it would be imperfect. I have imperfect information. All of us have imperfect information, of course. But what I'm saying is
that's made a lot worse by your biases, which is what I want to go back to at the start. It's like at the start of this, I tried to sort of like take you to the place where it's like, well, they come in, they're going to have influences on them, they're going to have preconceived biases, they're going to go for the media platforms which reinforce those biases, let
me prove why your point's stupid. Would you consider yourself, I don't even know the party, someone's explained this to me in Australia.
Here, take your turn.
So just to be clear, I am almost exclusively voted conservative in my party.
Okay, so conservative. So we'll say conservative in whatever the name of your conservative party is. And let's say that your cultural influences led to that. Maybe your family. Is that part of the reason you've exclusively voted conservative? Because the way you were raised, the community you came from?
I think it's sort of, I would say that it's set, I get sort of like, I get a lot of my values from my family. And those help inform how I see the world. And so I think that's the case for most people. I think, and I see the world in a certain way. And I mean, like, I think everyone gets like at least a percentage of their values from how they grew up, what they experienced as a child. So that you're saying that that's the most important thing. So the Conservative Party let me finish. The Conservative Party next time says we're going to murder leadership's entire family. Every day they're saying it. No, trust us. We're going to kill you all. We're going to kill you all. And what you're saying is, yeah, but I have access to imperfect information, and my cultural values matter. And traditionally, I culturally have value to vote for the Conservative Party. So I'm still going to vote for the Conservative Party because I have imperfect information. That's what you're saying? Would you allow me to sort of respond with more than one sentence? Okay.
Yes.
So what I think is that if a Conservative Party in Australia did that, of course, everyone would vote no. But you've got a situation in America where people like Trump says an insane amount of stupid shit all the time. People don't trust him, or people don't trust, and they cope, and they don't even believe it. So Trump could come out tomorrow and say, I'm gonna deport every person of this race. I don't even think people would be like, he didn't really say that. He didn't really mean that. He can't do this. There'd be like a million other excuses along that line to give Trump an out, as that's not what he really meant. And
Hey,
maybe he couldn't
go ahead
do
and
it.
hit check. We know you don't have anything. Come on.
It's an absurd position. So what you say is, of course, Rob, what you're saying is true, except for one person in history, except for Trump. Because he lies about everything. You already show your bias by claiming that he's some.
Are we going to pretend that Trump
Can I answer with more than one sentence? Can I answer with more than one sentence?
I don't think that's what he was saying, though.
May I answer with more than one sentence, and then you can determine whether or not I've properly isolated what he was trying to say? I haven't even had a chance to say what I was going to say. Please, by all means, allow me to answer.
You rolled out with a bad faith interpretation. So
it is not a bad faith interpretation. What he said is this: he already shows his bias.
Had it.
He already shows his bias by saying that Trump's somehow some unique liar. He lies about everything, which is already showing his bias, as if this isn't the case with the standard politicians, including politicians that would be in Australia. But he's going to say that Trump's more unique and somehow more worse than them, which already shows his bias to begin with. Secondly, the idea that they would be given basically amnesty with the vote for the Biden administration, so they already have access to that information, which they would believe. Regardless of what Trump even promised, that would give them a proclivity to want to vote for the party that did that. You're saying no, they wouldn't do that. They would totally ignore that. And then they would hear Trump specifically running over and over and over on the one issue they would care the most about. We are going to kick you out of this country. And they would hear the Democrats saying, he's going to do it. He's going to kick you out of the country. And they would say, nah, he's full of shit. I'm going to vote for him because of tariffs. It's a joke.
Single conservative out there would be telling them that's not what he meant. Didn't happen.
Is that what we're saying? Show me one that said it. Show me one that said it. Show me one.
That is essentially.
Show me one that said that. Show me one.
No one.
Right.
I mean,
right. You're saying show me one, but you're not engaging with the substance of what I'm talking about here. I'm saying to you that the narrative that we're getting into, or the narrative that would be spun about the Trump's going to kick out all illegals, would not be propagated in conservative mainstream news. I can name like 5 people off the top of my head just right now that would just outright say, no, it's the Democrats that are planning to do this.
Who? Name me 5.
Okay, I would say Tucker Carlson, Tim Pool.
You're full of shit. You're a lie. So show me one time. So just to be clear, can you show me one time ever of Tucker Carlson saying it's the Democrats that want to kick illegals out and not Republicans? Can you show me one example of that ever?
A few moments later.
Hey, Rob, Drazi, what do you guys think of the adpocalypse on Twitch right now?
Oh, I win.
Shit. Well done.
I could stick around and talk a little, though. I don't mind that. But I will.
I see Pirate Software break it down and said that actually ads dip down this time of the year every single year.
Well done, Rob. Congrats.
Good job.
Good game. It was fun. It was.